Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Indian School of Physics. This is Nitin here, and today I've come up with a very amazing problem on mutual inductance. This is the statement of this problem. There is an oscillating primary circuit with inductor L1 and a charge capacitor C. The initial charge on the capacitor is Q0 as shown. The secondary circuit, an inductor L2 with conducting wires is coupled with the primary circuit. The mutual inductance of these inductors is M. Find the natural frequency of oscillations of this oscillating system. Also find the charge in the capacitor as a function of time. Assume that the switch is closed at t equal to 0. What is the maximum current in the primary and secondary circuits? So it's a very nice problem, very conceptual, and people make a lot of mistake, especially with plus and minus sign when it comes to mutual inductance. There was a similar problem in JEE Advanced 2020 this year, and you can try that problem also after going through this problem. You must try that. I'm sure you'll be doing better than that. You can solve that question completely. So let's discuss this problem here. So at t equal to 0, this switch is closed. So what exactly is going to happen? That the charge on this capacitor is going to decrease. Some charges will be flowing through the circuit, and it will come, current will start flowing in this. As current will increase in this circuit, primary circuit, this inductor will give some response to that increasing current, and once that will come, because of this inductor, some magnetic field lines will be associated with this loop, this inductor as well. So due to that, some induced EMF will come here and current will start increasing in this circuit also. Now due to that increasing current, this inductor L2 is also going to respond to that, and that's how we have to think and we have to frame equations here. So let's learn how exactly we are going to form these equations. That is the most crucial part, and trust me, based on my experience, every year I see people make a lot of mistake in especially the questions involving mutual inductance. So let's discuss whatever I have given in the brief just now. Let's try to apply here. So this charge capacitor, when switch is closed, so charge Q will start flowing through this, and the corresponding current is I1. So I can simply write dq by dt as I1. Now this I1 is increasing here. So this increasing current, when it is passing through this inductor, let's say it is going to create field lines in this direction. I'm assuming that's what this black arrow sign is denoting here in the first one. Let's not think about the second one right now. We'll just focus on first one. So here this current is increasing. So due to self-inductance, it will try to oppose that increasing current. In order to oppose that, the corresponding flux will be L1 I1 you can say, and it will oppose, and that battery will have EMF of L1 di1 by dt. Alright, this battery will have EMF of L1 di1 by dt. Let's not think about this right now. Let's see what is going to happen. Now this is going to create field lines here. So you can see these blue lines. Blue lines are the field lines corresponding to first one. Whatever field lines first one is going to create, they will enter into the second inductor, because magnetic field lines are going to be closed lines, so they are going to be associated something like this. So some of the field lines created by L1 must pass through the L2. That's where this mutual inductance will come into play. Mutual inductance is you can say flux through secondary is M times current in 1, or flux through 1 due to mutual inductance will be M times current in second. So due to this increasing current, because I1 is increasing, so this field is also increasing. So these field lines are entering in this manner inside the second inductor. So that's where this mutual inductance will come into play. This mutual inductance will say, don't increase this flux, I'm going to oppose you. That's how the inductors will talk. So here the corresponding flux is going to be Mi1, And due to this mi1, it's a rate of change, the battery we can draw like this, and it is going to oppose this increasing flux. So m di1 by dt will be in this direction. I hope this is clear to you. Once this EMF generates in this secondary inductor due to mutual inductance, current I2 will be established in this secondary loop, and current is increasing. So as current is increasing, you can see here this self inductance will say don't increase this I2. Please don't increase this I2. I am going to oppose you. So what exactly this L2 will do? L2 will create its EMF in opposite direction in order to oppose the increase in I2. So corresponding flux will be L2 I2, or you can say here the corresponding this EMF, the pink one, here you can write L2 di2 by dt. So this is done in the secondary loop. Now the same process will happen due to second one on first one as well. Now since current is increasing, and let's say here also this field lines are in this direction, that means coil 2 is creating its field lines in this manner. You can see this pink line will represent, so this increasing field which is due to I2 will enter into first one, and this is increasing. So now this mutual flux, tendency of this mutual part will be to oppose this increasing pink flux. So it will try to oppose this. In order to oppose this, there is going to be a battery like this here, and its value is going to be m times di2 by dt. Corresponding flux is mi, you can say. Corresponding flux here is going to be mi2. All right, I hope it is clear to you. This is going to be mi2, or the corresponding EMF is going to be m times di2 by dt. Now once we are okay with this, this is the most toughest part in this problem. I hope you have gone through this. I'll suggest please watch this explanation one more time. If it is not clear to you, it's very important if you want to have control over mutual inductance problem. So now I'm going to apply Kirchhoff law here in the primary circuit. So minus of q naught minus q by c plus L1 di1 by dt minus m times di2 by dt, and that is going to give me 0. There is no resistance, I'm assuming, otherwise it will give me terrible calculations. All right, now in secondary is very easy. You could guess also, once you draw the diagram for mi1, then its reverse should come, because net EMF must be 0 in this. However, from here if you start, L2 di2 by dt minus m di1 by dt should be equal to 0. So I have this equation and this equation. You can see here I have drawn here, this blue is due to these field lines, blue field lines is due to current in 1, and this one is entering into 2, and the pink one is due to current in secondary inducing current in the first one. All right, so these are the symbols. Please watch this part one more time. If that clarity is not there, think about it, imagine about this, and I'm sure you'll get the feel of mutual inductance, and let me know in the comment section if you get that feel. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to eliminate di2 by dt in this equation, so that entire equation of di1 by dt I will be having. So when I substitute these values, I can write this I1 as dq by dt. When I rearrange these terms, I am going to obtain that SHM equation. I am going to obtain that SHM equation, standard form of SHM equation. So I can just write this is going to be the omega square. So omega value is going to be root of L2 by C, L1 L2 minus m square. So this is going to be the natural frequency of this circuit, coupled circuit. Here capital small q minus q naught, I can write it as capital Q. Then I can reduce this equation into a very standard form of SHM, which is d2q by dt square plus omega square q is equal to 0. And I know for this equation its solution is q is equal to a sine omega t plus phi. Here this capital Q is small q minus q naught. So that should be equal to a sine omega t plus phi. Phi is unknown to me. A is also unknown to me. But I have the conditions that at t equal to 0, charge flowing through the circuit was 0, small q was 0, and also current flowing through the circuit in the primary circuit was 0. That means I1 was also 0. So I1 I'm calculating from here. These two probable functions are with me. So I'm going to substitute here. In this equation, when I substitute t equal to 0, q small q is 0, I'm going to get minus q naught is equal to a sine phi. Similarly, in the current equation of I1, if I put t equal to 0, and at that moment if I1 was 0, I'll be getting a omega cos phi equal to 0. So it's very easy to comment from here that this phi is going to be pi by 2, and if phi is pi by 2, a is going to be minus q naught. So once I know these values, now I know charge as a function of time, it is going to be q naught minus q naught sine of omega t plus pi by 2, which will become cos omega t. So charge on the capacitor is q naught minus q at any time t. So that is going to be q naught times cos omega t. So this is the charge on the capacitor as a function of time. This is the answer for this. After this, if I have to write I max, I1 max, I have this function. Its maximum value is a omega. A is I1 is a omega. This will become plus cos omega t plus pi by 2. It will become minus sine omega t. So I am going to get I1 as a omega minus a omega sine omega t. When I substitute the values, I'll be getting I1 max as q naught omega, because minus a value is q naught. So this is going to be the maximum current. You can substitute the omega value which we have derived earlier, which is root of L2 by C L1 L2 minus m square. So I1 max is known to you. Similarly, I can write from this equation as well. This equation you can see here, if I integrate, mi1 is equal to L2 I2 I am going to get. So from here I2 I can write as m by L2 times I1. So similarly I1 max is going to I2 max is going to be m by L2 times I1 max. This value I can substitute in order to get the answer, which I'm not doing here. So I hope this question is clear to you. It's pretty conceptual, and trust me, majority of the students make mistake in this part, especially in the sign of these four batteries which we are placing here due to changing currents. So please revise it, and I'm sure you'll be very happy with this learning. And if you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like, share it with others, and if you haven't subscribed my channel, please subscribe it. I'll be coming up very soon with another amazing problem. Thanks for watching it. Thank you.